What's up, guys? Lore here once again with more Heart of the Swarm beta action. Checking out some more random replays that I just pulled off of drop.sc, a great site to actually host your replays, by the way, if you're looking to put them up anywhere. Perhaps you want to send them in to me so that I can cast them, especially if they are Heart of the Swarm matches. I would love to get my grubby mitts all over them. Anyway, let's check out this match down here in the just the eastern corner of Core Hall City. We have a Terran player by the name of scdpride, who apparently is very attracted to Zerg. This is interesting. Over here on the west side of the map, we have our Zerg player, known as Lofty in the blue. Alright, so, once again, just a quick reminder, this is a random replay. I have no idea who these players are at all. This is just something that I randomly found on drop.sc. So I don't know what sort of anything to expect out of these players. It looks like Lofty's actually going for the extractor trick early on, get himself an extra drone in production before his overlord pops out, so that's good. At least he knows about little things like that. So far, nothing glaringly bad out of this, so this isn't a bronze level replay by any means, but we'll have to see where things go. We've got a gas first out of scdpride. scdpride, I don't know what that's supposed to stand for. Let's call it Scott Calvin's dog. There we go. He's very proud of Scott Calvin's dog. That's what scdpride is up to. And then Lofty over here looking to go for this early expansion. This should be dropping down any second now. He's got enough minerals for it. Click on it. There we go. There's that natural expansion for Lofty. So, let's talk real quick about some of the Terran changes that have actually come out in Heart of the Swarm since the last time I cast some matches. Basically, they took everything new and removed it, more or less. There's actually just basically the Widow Mine and the Battle Hellion, which is now called the Hellbat or something. They got rid of the Warhound entirely. They were having too much trouble balancing it, trying to find a way to make it into something that wasn't just a better Marauder that you built out of a factory. Couldn't really find a good way to do that, so they just said, you know what, screw it. We're just not going to deal with that anymore. Personally, a bit disappointing to me. I kind of liked the aesthetics of it, at least, and I liked the idea of an extra mech unit for the Terran. Hopefully they'll find a way to return it or something like it to the Terran race. But what that means is that now we have... Oh, quickly get that down. And he got in there. Yeah, okay. It looked like for a second there he was planning on dropping down a depot. I guess he didn't have a SCV near enough to actually drop it down, but now the drone is going to get in here and scout around a little bit. Actually getting into a bit of fight. Ooh, we got a proxy hatchery here from Lofty. This could be interesting. Doing something a little cheeky. He did... I don't think this is an all-in, really, because he did grab his natural expansion. He's just looking to do some damage here. He's as confused as I am. He's like, you can't build that there. That's my base. You can't build that there. So this could be interesting. This match could be over really, really quickly, depending on what happens here. I'm going to wait and see if he actually cancels that or what he's going to do. Meanwhile, in response to this, scdpride is getting out some Hellions as quickly as he can. He's getting out, looks like he's going to go for some Marauders off of that thing. Maybe some Reapers or something. Decided, you know what, that SCV is not going to be able to kill that thing in time. Let's go ahead and get back to mining. And meanwhile, what is Lofty up to back at home? He's got his spawning pool up. Is he going to proxy... Like, normally when you see a proxy hatchery like this, they follow it up with roaches, but there's no roach warren on the way. So he may just decide to pop out some Zerglings here. This could be really interesting. And oh, scdpride has actually decided he's just going to go ahead and do some damage right away. Has he actually researched the Blue Flames upgrade? I don't think he has, but they do have the little blue on there, so we'll have to see here in just a second. Nope, he has not grabbed the Blue Flame upgrade. Okay. It used to be there was a thing down there that you could check to see, but it's not there anymore. It looks like he has gone ahead and canceled the hatchery up over here. He's building an evolution chamber instead, so we are not seeing a proxy hatch in this game. I'm a little bit disappointed by that. I really wanted to see one of those, but whatever. Meanwhile, these Hellions over here are doing some damage. We got 2 kills on that one, 1 kill on that one, so 3 kills. Looks like it's going to be 4 kills very shortly, and a 5th kill for these 2 Hellions, 2 of which are Zerglings. And wow, he's just kind of throwing those Zerglings away. Oh, and the Queen's going to come out and say, get on out of here, you stupid Hellions. Get off my lawn, which, by the way, is made entirely out of creep. It looks like whatever was going on, something happened over here, and then the Zerg thing died, so... Not sure exactly what came of that. I feel like the... Yes, this is definitely a very weird game. I feel like the drone should have at least existed still. because there weren't any Terran units over there when the... I was looking on the minimap. There weren't any Terran units up over there when the vision disappeared, so... Not entirely sure what's actually going on at this particular moment in time. Anyway, we have a... wow, why am I blanking on the Banshee? There we go. Could not think of the name of the unit there for a second. We have a Banshee on the way for the Terran player. That Zergling has sacrificed himself to the greater good of taking 2 or 3 bites out of this factory. And things have calmed down otherwise, which is good, because if they were keeping up that quickly, I don't know that I was going to be able to keep track of everything. Just sort of macroing up. Would like to see a 3rd expansion come out of our Zerg player here relatively soon, Mr. Lofty. He is getting up an Evolution Chamber, as well as an Overseer. I imagine he probably knows that the Ghosts are on the way. This is a lot of Hellions coming out for scdpride. Let's go ahead and check the Units tab. Yeah, there's just those 6 total Hellions. He does have 2 Ghosts and a Banshee somewhere, and he's sending over a few SCVs as well. Now the Ghosts may be able to do some damage. It doesn't look like he's yet begun production of any nukes or anything like that, so that's just going to be mostly for probably the snipe ability, I would imagine. Possibly EMP if any infestors pop out, but it doesn't look like any of those are on the way for Lofty just yet. So this could be a scary push anyway. He does have, well, there are some roaches up here, as well as that spine crawler. That first Hellion's going to drop down immediately. Is managing to do some damage, but this Banshee is about the only thing that can really do damage to those, and it has fallen down. So this push is going to get pushed back relatively handily from Lofty here. He's pushing out with these roaches and just saying, hey, get out of here. I told you before, no Hellions on my lawn. That one Zergling, yeah, that was not going to go well for that Zergling under any means. So what does scdpride do in response to this, other than dropping mules? Well, he does have a Raven up now. That was a weird sound I just heard. I wonder if that was one of those weird bugs where sometimes you hear sounds all the way across the map. But he does have a Raven out now. Nothing really to go along with it. Not much of an army at all, actually. He's kind of been a little heavy on the Hellions. He does have a nuke in production now. There we are. He does have the nuke on the way now. So we'll have to see if he can make use out of that. Lofty's army is starting to look a little bit scarier. he's just so confused by this game. I agree. I'm a bit confused by it myself. But we do have an army coming in now here for that must have been what I heard, was that Changeling earlier. He dropped it way back there, got shot in the face, no problem. And is that a Widow Mine? I can't actually tell. The medevac suddenly decided to get in the way. These roaches are going to poke up there as much as they can. The Zerglings have pulled back. Roaches now pulling back as well. It looked like, yeah, there are a couple Widow Mines sitting out over here. This is the one new unit that is remaining. Well, totally new unit, I should say, because there are still the Hellbats, or whatever you want to call them. There they are. Hellbats require an armory to be able to build them, which scdpride has not yet built. In fact, he's actually dropping down a 2nd Ghost Academy. It looks like he's going to be going for some heavy nuke play as this match continues. Do have a 3rd base now up and running for Lofty over here. He elected not to take this one down here. This is something we actually have seen quite a bit on this map in the past, where players will go for this as their 3rd base instead of the closer, more obvious base, I guess, just because it's a little bit more out of the way. It can be harder to defend if your opponent were to come down over here and push up past this way, but it does mean that you have this choke area that you can try to keep a hold of. Whereas if you were to take this map, you've got this choke area down here as well to keep an eye on. So it does make it a little bit easier to keep track of what's going on over there, even though it is a bit farther in terms of overall distance to be able to take that expansion. So we do have one nuke just about finished. Actually, it is finished. He's about to finish up his cloaking. The 2nd nuke is about to finish as well. So should be seeing some... Oh, and this is nice. You don't see a lot of players actually doing this, but he's noticed that scdpride is actually sitting on 2 bases still, and he knows that he's going to have, in fact, he does now have the economic lead. So he's decided to collapse those rocks so that now scdpride actually has to kill, it either has to take this debris out or this debris out if he wants to go ahead and get his 3rd expansion, unless he wants to go someplace completely random on the other side of the map, which is obviously not ideal as well. So that will slow down an expansion a little bit longer. Obviously this creep would do it as well if the rocks were not down. Okay. So Lofty's actually got himself a pretty big supply lead at this point. I'm going to go ahead and check the units tab. He's got himself 51 workers to scdpride's 42. Other than that, it's mostly just roaches and zerglings that he's got out there. He does have a lot of them, 37 zerglings and 16 roaches, which compared to the 1 siege tank, 8 hellions, and 5 marauders of scdpride is not a great army for scdpride to be able to actually defend against that, and the supply obviously is mirroring that as well, showing 137 supply. Uh-oh, but where is this nuke? Where is it falling down? I don't see it. I don't see it anywhere. Where is it? Alright, there it is. Lofty has spotted it. So that nuke will not do much in the way of damage, but in fact it did not do any damage. He was able to kill it in time, but there was a second nuke called down somewhere over here. Yes, Lofty has noticed it and pulled away his drones, so this will not do. This nuke attack was not as effective. Did take out one drone up over there. And actually, he actually managed to collapse the rocks, which caused it to do extra damage. A lot of people don't realize this, but those rocks, once collapsed, will actually damage the expansion that's sitting up over there. And he managed to keep his ghost as well, so if he gets another nuke, which he may very well soon, I believe a third nuke would actually... No, it just barely would not kill that. It would be left with just a little bit of health. Meanwhile, however, Lofty is coming up over here, done a little bit of a drop. It is going to be cleaned up by scdpride, but there is a bunch of damage being done. It looks like he lost a whole bunch of workers in the middle of that. Even though the attack was cleaned up, he did lose a bunch of workers. Let's actually check the units lost. Whoops, that was not the one that I can't remember the hotkey. Sorry about that, guys. And never mind, I'm gonna find this nuke over here. I wanted to check the units lost tab. There we go. There it is. Workers kill. He lost 14 workers. Let's see if he can even it up here. No, Lofty is going to pull away. And that did not quite finish it off. He's going to just move in there. I don't know why he's nuking a third time. He literally could have just shot it once with his ghost, but whatever, no problem. Meanwhile, his army is kind of all over the place in the middle of the map here. We do have a swarm host burrowed over here doing some damage. I'm not entirely sure what's going on right now. This is kind of all over the place. There's an attack going on at the front of scdpride's base. Seems to have elected to just repair that. It is just a bunch of zerglings. I don't know how much damage they can actually do. Over here, we've got a bit of a battle as well. Cleaning up some roaches. There are these swarm hosts over here, though, popping out those locusts as much as I can, and those are essentially free damage. He's lost a bunch of units to that. There's a nuke going on somewhere. I don't know that I can find. There it is. There's the nuke coming down. I don't believe he's actually going to notice this in time. There's still a battle going on in the middle of the map. I don't think he's going to notice it, though, and oh, that is a lot of drones lost to that. I don't know that it's going to matter, though, just because there is so much damage being done by Lofty at this point. He has such an economic lead already. Look, he's got 2,000 minerals in the bank. Who cares if you lose a few drones when you got 2,000 minerals bank? You don't have to worry about it anymore. Yet another nuke dropping down on this same location. Trying to do as much damage as it can with those nukes, but I don't know how much that's actually going to matter. Like I said, he's got such an economic lead at this point. Even if he loses all of those, he did lose this base up over here, obviously, and he has nothing mining down here, so I guess technically he is just running off of these couple of bases here in terms of his economy, but that just means he's on even footing because scdpride is still only functioning off of 2 bases. We are now almost 20 minutes into the game, and he has not taken a third. Yeah, that's a bit iffy. scdpride. In fact, let's actually check and see how much minerals he has left. These are actually still looking decent at the very least. If we check his main, though, yeah, he's pretty much mined out in his main. He's going to be on 1 base mining very, very soon and just will not be able to keep up with his economy. Again, he does have a bunch banked. Once again, a reminder that this is just a random replay that I found. I'm not exactly expecting MLG quality play out of these guys. But Lofty's coming in now with a big drop, dropping those swarm hosts actually in the middle up here. Says, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to send them right up in here. Drops up down. There's a nuke dropping down. It's like kind of a well-placed nuke, and I don't know that Lofty's actually even going to notice it. He may be looking elsewhere, trying to figure out where that nuke is being dropped. And it's, oh, he does notice it just at the last second. It's going to come down. Is it going to hit the swarm hosts? And it hits one of them, almost takes down a second. There's a second nuke dropping down over here. It's kind of funny that it's going to actually take a long time. It was literally just launched from right there. He's nuking his own base now, trying to take these guys out, but just does not have the army to be able to do it. Lofty at 150 supply, scdpride at 55. Wow, okay, that was a whole bunch of overlords that were taken out, but not much in the way of the actual attacking units. The swarm hosts, the remaining ones at least, were relocated up over here. There's a bunch of roaches over here just sort of picking apart SCD Pride's base, doing as much damage as he can. There's even a whole bunch of zerglings and stuff sitting down over here that he could send up over if he wanted to. I'm surprised he hasn't. This ghost is doing as much as he can, trying to clear stuff out, but there is just no way, in my opinion, unless these Widow Mines can somehow be amazing, and that doesn't appear to be the amazingness that we were looking for in this particular case. So now down to 30 supply for SCD Pride. I imagine that this game will be over any minute now. He may force Lofty to go through the whole process of killing off every single one of his bases, but there come the SCVs. That is the signal that this is the last stand of SCD Pride, as he now has over 100 less supply than his opponent. I don't think we're going to be seeing much in the way of a final stand here from our Terran player. So interesting nuke play, and he did actually manage to get a couple of good nukes off, but it just was not enough to make up for the overall macro of the Zerg player. Just wasn't enough to really be able to push him back. Is he really going to make him kill every single... I think he's going to make him kill every single building. There we go. SCD Pride has left the game. Lofty gives a nice try. I don't think that's actually... It seems a bit bad manner, but whatever. And yeah, so it just, like I said, interesting nuke play, but not enough to really be able to make up for the macro and for the overpowering push that Lofty was able to put on. So good game to both players. My name is Lore, and I will see you in the next match.